Poke Problems Podcast, episode 282B, PAX East.
Bonus!
Bonus episode! Well, hello.
Greetings.
I am Ms. Sylver.
And I'm the Wolf Doctor.
And today we're going to talk about all the crazy adventures at PAX East.
On the Poke Problems Podcast. Ms. Sylver, PAX East was incredible, but also a blur.
It was quite phenomenal, and I'm glad I took as many pictures as I did and flyers from places because I don't even remember what happened the whole weekend. There was so much, and I think perhaps the best part is that Penny Arcade Expo had an arcade at it at PAX East for the first time, and I don't even remember how long.
Oh, yeah. It was great to have the arcade. Where was that from? You looked it up and found the place.
Yeah, the people who were running the arcade, they were super nice. They're from Retroware in Lansdale, Pennsylvania, and they also had a booth down on the floor. So if you went by like the Toxic Avengers booth, I didn't know that they did so many different things. There's a whole bunch of different games that they have in development or that they've come out with, in addition to running an amazing arcade.
Yeah, they had a full room with tons of machines, kind of like all around the walls, and then an inner ring too. They had some rhythm games, not as many as we usually see at Anime Boston, for example, but a really big variety of different old cabinet consoles, basically.
Yeah, like they had fighting games like Tekken, and then of course the music games like you mentioned, like there was DDR and Waka. And I was super excited to play Super Pac-Man, which I love as a game. I don't know if you've played that one much.
No, you were telling me about it. It's weird, right?
Yeah, it's one where Pac-Man becomes double-sized if you eat the correct type of Energizer. And he does have the other Energizer as well. But it's just a cute, fun game where you can eat little... I guess lots of areas are corridored off by little doors that you can either eat when you're giant, or you can get keys to unlock access to different areas on the map.
Whoa, okay, so it's like a multi-screen. It's not just one screen
it's one screen worth, but
there's locked off areas.
There's locked off areas that you have to like get through somehow. It can be quite dangerous at the end if you don't get enough keys or if you don't utilize
your pellets correctly.
Yes, everything well.
Oh man, I'm not good at Pac-Man like you are, but I'm good enough to be a backseat pack.
A backseat pack? Is that an official term?
I guess. And be upset when I see people using their pellets poorly.
Oh.
I'm like, no, don't eat the pellet. Ghosts aren't even near you. You gotta wait.
Yes, when people, especially the Energizer, there's so many strategies you can do, especially on the regular Pac-Man games, like different things like speeds of how long the Energizers last, resetting on different levels and stuff. And
yeah,
I also get stressed out when I see that.
So I definitely went to the arcade a bit. I think you played a little bit more than me, but I went with Ricario and we played a couple of really cool games.
Okay.
We played this game, he was like, we gotta try this, called Virtual On, which is mech fighting. And
was
you sit
that
in
the
a
one
cockpit.
right when you walked in?
Yeah, and you have like 2 joysticks. We played a few rounds of that, and that was cool. We played some Virtua Cop as well, which I was bad at. I mean, not terrible at, but
I love Virtua
he's
Cop.
better than me, by far. It made me want to make you get your Time Crisis game together.
Setup actually works.
Yeah, because I do love those games. They're fun games where you get to choo.
Shoot everything.
Yeah. So...
I'm sad I didn't get to play on Super Monkey Ball with the banana controller.
Wait, how does that work? Where do you hold the banana?
You put the banana where you would imagine it goes. I'm not a Super Monkey Ball expert.
In your mouth?
No. In your hands.
Okay. With 2 hands?
I did see some people two-handing the
banana?
The banana.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'll have to ask some people. But I was very happy to have the arcade back.
Yes, it was nice. It's always a place you can go when you're like, between panels, need a little time, need to do something fun, get my spirits up, play some arcade games.
And it's open late, all the way up until the con closes at night.
Yeah, that is great. Now, what about Pokemon at PAX East, Miss Sylver?
There was a Pokemon play booth at PAX East. I was very excited because there was not one at PAX Unplugged last year. And I was wondering, how are we going to get our final Tatsugiri trading pin with, the little yellow stretchy fish on it? But it was here!
Masushi! Yes, that's right.
Yes, all the sushi.
Did you go and play? There were two sides. I played both sides with Pri. We had a wonderful time. And the rewards were even better than usual, I thought. Played the TCG side, which you got the both decks. Like last year, you had to pick between which deck you wanted as a reward for playing the games. But you got that pack, that 2-pack that has both decks in it.
Wolf Doctor, is that true? Did I not look at my giveaways?
You did not look at your
closely?
giveaway. You got both the Charizard EX and the Raichu EX decks.
Ooh.
It's a double pack, because last year you had to pick between the two.
Well, Wolf Doctor, I was also very impressed with the rewards, though I know I did not get all of the rewards like you did.
I know. I went on an early day, so I also went to the video game side where you got a Quaxley pin, and I think that's what Miss Sylver did not get.
So I did, during press hour on the first day, I did go through the TCG line, but I didn't make it all the way to the video game land. And I didn't know that they could possibly run out of those Quaxley pins. I'm so sad.
She got a double Tatsugiri, though.
Yeah, which is fine.
Those pins, you could probably find someone who would trade you for the Tatsugiri.
So,
because that's, I think, a little more prized of a pin. But I was impressed with the rewards. They also gave out cleaning cloths that had the type chart on them, which that's actually one of the best cleaning cloths I've ever seen for Switches.
yes, this is perhaps the best reward ever. More people need to have cleaning cloths, and also helpful ones like the Pokemon type chart, which I can never keep straight at all.
And when you went to go get your prizes, and you mentioned this, but I also thought it when I was there, they had a vending machine of plushes, but they were not for sale, and they were so cool.
I was trying to buy the Soda Pop Eevee, and they're like, oh, this is just so you can see what's online at the Pokemon Center. Those cruel, cruel people.
I mean, they sold out of the things they were actually selling in the booth next door, where they had all the plushes and, well, not all the a selection of
they
plushes.
had a lot of plushes there and little minifigures.
And blow up Pokemons like the pool floats.
Though they did not have the Lapras there, because I don't have that, and I've been trying to get one, but I don't know when they'll make more of them. Oof.
Yeah, it was a good showing for Pokemon.
And I did appreciate the Evolution hats that they were handing out.
Oh yeah, so many people were wearing the Evolution paper hats around the con.
Everywhere. So I think the Pokemon booth, it was even better than I could have imagined. I did enjoy suffering and losing horribly on the video game side with the rental team I chose.
I was really lucky that I was lucky on my teams and the placement of my Pokemon on the field. It went well for me. I was lucky.
And I appreciate that they do have the video game demos there with the battling, because I loved battling, but I don't do it enough in the modern game, so it's just great to try it out and see what sorts of cool options you can have.
Yeah. Oh man, I was so lucky. I was gonna say it. I got pretty lucky. I did win, beat Pri, but I was lucky. I had luck on my side.
Hey man, you'd rather have someone immobilized by love for the whole battle and they can't play having your well-trained team. That's how I feel.
Well, it was also a big Pokemon Go weekend that weekend. Ooh. I didn't do as much as you did.
It was Palmy Community Day, and I was hanging out with Pri and one of our other friends, Ben, when this was going on, and I kept catching Shiny and after Shiny for Palmy Community Day, and he was failing to... I don't know if he actually caught any by the end of the day.
You should save one of those for me, because I don't know if I caught one either.
Oh no, I have so many of them.
Yes, so save me one for a trade later.
I'm not even sure why I caught so many of them. They were just...
Yeah, save me one. I don't think I got one. But it was also Dynamax Suicune that weekend. Oof. And the King and Nido Queen with the crowns.
Wolf Doctor, thank you for trading me the Nido Queen with the crown, because I had forgotten that this was an event between all of the other Pokemon Go events that weekend.
And you had a Pokestop of the week at Pokemon Go too, right? Or at PAX East. Pokestop of the week at PAX East for Pokemon Go. Let me say that one more time. What was your Pokestop of the week, Ms. Sylver?
Well, at PAX East, I do love the BCEC monolith, but if you go a little bit down the convention center, there's a dragon on D, aka the lawn at D. Has some different figures and statues on it. And this dragon statue, it's a very fun, very fitting for specifically PAX Pokestop. I sent it to Tiamat from Ohio
who loves dragons.
Who loves dragons. So this was the perfect Pokestop to send to him.
Oh, that's awesome. There were so many other Pokemon things, though. You were not running the Pokemon cosplay meetup, Miss Sylver, were you?
I was not, which means I got to attend, which was awesome.
Which Pokemon costume?
I'm sorry. I was kind of, just wearing the same costume I've been wearing recently because I made another new costume for the con. But I was dressed up as Mela from Team Star. But I saw so many cool costumes, so thank you to Geek and Chic for running this meetup. I'm not sure if you've seen any of the pictures from it, but my highlight definitely was the Char Wizard. Did you see this guy?
Char Wizard?
Yes! And I talked with him afterwards, after videoing his costume a little. I wish I'd taken more videos. He made so many different details, like on his belt, on his staff. If you look at everything he has, it's very, very intricate. And he's basically got almost like an orange-ish magician outfit on, I would say.
Like a wizard?
Like a wizard, but he's got a tail. He's got a hat and a staff, and
I like that he made the wings, the cape, the wings. So the cape is blue, like Charizard. You know, Charizard has orange on one side, blue on the inside. Like, that is the cape. It is perfect. It is very Char.
Yes, so Char.
But you said you saw a Dialga costume, too.
Oh,
that is an insane costume.
Yes. I can't believe I've never seen anyone dare to try and, dress up like Dialga, and Team Mike, he absolutely knocked out of the park. Was great. And apparently he has a twin brother. And I'm like, you need to make him dress up like Palkia so we can have, both of them here.
That is a good idea. That is a good idea.
I'm hoping he does it by next year.
But you did host a meetup of cosplay yourself, too. We're talking about your Nintendo and Smash cosplay meetup, which apparently went wonderfully with Voodoo as Jiggly, as usual.
Yes. DJ Pebbles was dressed up as a crossplay of Lil Mac from Punch Out. And we also had Professor Evergreen there as Breath of the Wild Link.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Dang.
They were all looking smashing, might I add.
Oh my god.
What?
Puns.
What?
You're punishing me for this. Go on.
But I do have to thank Leah, who helps pick out some of the meetings, for helping us run this. If we do this one specifically again, I think we need to give ourselves more time. You have an option for up to an hour and a half, which we could have actually used. And I was like, oh no. We also had an 8-player Smash setup on the side.
Oh, that's great.
So if you don't want to, participate, or you don't have a costume off, but you want to be involved in other ways. And we had so many different series represented. I was very impressed. Though only a couple Pokemon cosplayers. We went through by different series as well, and I think there was only 2 people in the Pokemon picture. Which was very different than Emerald City Comic Con, where we had a Smash meetup. We had a lot more
pokes.
Pokemon.
A lot more pokes.
I don't know what you saw of it, but we did have a Giga Sephiroth show up.
Whoa.
I'm not sure how tall this person was, but I was like, dude, you just Gigantamax Sephiroth? This is the best costume ever?
Where are all the photos? Are they online yet, Miss Sylver?
I've got some of the photos up, including some of the group ones. But I know one of my favorite YouTubers, Kirby GCN17, made a great video as well.
He was there? I always wanted to meet him. I'm sorry. I should have stopped by when I could have, because we've always used his.
He's got great line videos for Nintendo New York.
Yeah,
and
like
other
he's
cons.
really a cool YouTuber.
He is a great, great guy. I did see him very early, first thing on Thursday morning, at the Pokemon booth, where I feel like I saw everyone from YouTube was there. Because you go one place, you go to the Pokemon booth first.
That's true. Everyone knows. Go to the Pokemon booth.
Yeah, but there were so many beautiful costumes. There was this beautiful Princess Peach with a full ball gown that I wish we had more time, because usually I like to do lots of solo shots of people too. But her dress, it takes up the entirety of the background. It's so big.
Gosh, there's just so many great costumes I'm seeing on the photos. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see. I'm super happy this year PAX coordinated with Nerd Caliber, who had done hallway photos or small booth photos before. But there was an actual photo room, which I never made it to take a nice picture. I'm so sad.
That's what you didn't even tell people what you dressed up as.
Oh, well, okay. I was going to originally dress up as Tifa, because there's a Tifa Meat Fighter outfit. Yeah. And I didn't have time to change because there was too much. So I was just dressed up as Rydia from Final Fantasy because I didn't have time to change. I did take a picture with Sephiroth.
I was very proud of you because you made new pieces for your costume this year, and it looked great.
So despite breaking a needle on a sewing machine, which I haven't done since in 20 years or something, so I didn't get to add all the pieces.
But the needle didn't go into your eye this time, so it's better than the past.
Yes. So, for those of you who don't know, one time Wolf Doctor was helping me make a costume, and it was very stretchy material.
Yeah, I was sitting on the floor, I was cutting out pieces while Ms. Sylver was working the machine, and I just hear this, ah! And I turn around, and she's sitting in this paralyzed with fear pose with her hands up, like, just paralyzed, looking straight ahead with her eyes wide. And somehow, thankfully not the pointy end, of a sewing needle got into her eye. I didn't realize you have to use goggles while using a sewing machine.
I should do this more often at home. I have many sets of goggles from swimming. I could wear any of them.
Or just even a pair of glasses would have, a little pair of your blue blockers or something would have done it for you. Wouldn't have taken much. It was not the pointy end, and it was thankfully like she hadn't blinked it into her. It was like just floating on the lash line. So I was like, just hold really still, and I was able to get it without a problem, thankfully. That was a terrifying moment. Miss Sylver has a lot of eye trauma in her past.
Sometimes I put toothbrushes in my eyes. And you know what's crazy? Ben was at the con, and during this needle in the eye incident, I was also using AIM or ICQ. I don't know how far back that goes. And I was telling him I have a needle in my eye. And he's like, why are you typing to me right now? Shooting the needle out of your eye.
I mean, it was doable. Thankfully, you were not actually injured. You were just traumatized.
Thank you, Wolf Doctor. Yes, I did not use the sewing machine again for many while years after that. But I'd made many successful costumes since then, but now I've broken a needle again.
I think what we've determined is that Ms. Sylver isn't used to sewing stretchy fabrics, and the deal is, just pro tip here, when you're sewing stretchy fabrics, you kind of tend to want to pull them to straighten them out and flatten them while you're sewing, but that can make you pull the needle out of like alignment, and it pokes into, because it goes into a little slot metal slot, and if you crash the needle into the slot, that's when it breaks. So it wasn't the fabric that broke it, it was it being pulled out of whack and crashing into the side. So
I've researched
don't
this
pull too hard, okay?
I also found that there are special needles you can use for
stretchy
materials, which I didn't know, but I did pick up at a Joann's that was closing in Milwaukee. I got some needles. Thank you, Tenku no Oni, for
humoring me and not letting me die this way.
So hopefully in the future, I will not break too many more needles.
Yeah. Is it like a stiffer needle so that it, like a bigger core so that it, or something?
I didn't even look at them closely. I just saw
Report back, because you just want to make sure you're not pulling on it too hard and pulling it out of alignment with the rest of the machine.
Yes. But Wolf Doctor, I am super happy with all the people that showed up, because there were so many more than I could have imagined.
And you were lucky. I mean, I think they probably intentionally scheduled it so that it was not during the Omegathon, since you were an Omeganaut this year.
Yes. Thank you so much to Travis, who's in charge of the Omegathon, for allowing me to be a part of this. I'm sorry for spilling things all over you randomly in elevators.
Repeatedly.
But if you don't know what the Omegathon is, it's a weekend-long competition where it's elimination style. Unfortunately, I was eliminated in the first round, but my partner didn't show up, so I wasn't too heartbroken.
But it wasn't your partner's fault.
No, it wasn't his fault. I feel so bad. I never even met him.
Yeah, poor guy.
Sleepy PK, wherever you are in the universe. I heard that you did eventually make it to PAX, and I hope you had a good time.
Now, I went to 1 or 2 rounds of the Omegathon. I try to go every year, at least a little bit. I couldn't make it the first day, so I didn't get to see Sylver play. I'm bummed.
It's okay. I had mixed feelings because usually the Omegathon is a solo endeavor, but at PAX East,
it's partners.
So without having the partner there, I was like, I don't I don't know how I feel about all this. And the first round I was excited for, as it was a special version of F-Zero.
And you love F-Zero.
I love F-Zero. They even made a custom track for the race as well.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, so there was a Japanese Nintendo 64. Already cool.
Oh.
But apparently there was a builder.
It had a track editor?
There was special things. You could get expansion packs for the N64 controller. I was like, this was so cool.
Now you want that.
I know. Things to get. But they had the partners competing either by trading off in laps, which could be very dangerous because during that trade-off,
you could crash.
You could crash and go to your doom. Or they played with each people having half of the controller.
Oh, you had your choice of whether or not... Oh.
Which one? And there were some people who crashed out before they even got through a quarter of a lap. They went off the edge and never came back.
Oh, it's like a one-shot? You fall off, you die?
Oh, that's how F-Zero's always worked. It
always worked that way?
Yep, it's a very intense...
Whoa.
I play a lot of F-Zero 99. You try and like figure it out so you have enough boost to get to the end of the level without blowing up, or of course flying off the track, which is
very
a lot
important.
Too. As there were at least 2 or 3 groups that just almost immediately they were gone.
Oh, now I know you went to a few of the other rounds. I went to the one where they played Frequency.
Yeah,
which was awesome. Yeah. And now I want that game. What other games did you see that you liked? Push Me, Pull You? Did you watch that?
I did. I did actually attend all the rounds. I got to the one you're talking about a little bit late because I was coming from the Final Fantasy Magic panel. But the audience reaction to Push Me, Pull You was perhaps the best thing I've ever seen in my life, because if you haven't seen this game, it's like, I don't know, like Human Centipede, the game versus, and the pitter-patter of the sounds.
Of you pulling your body around.
There's no real music. There's just all the disturbing noises
Yeah.
of the creatures.
It is a little disturbing.
I would love to see the Twitch live stream, the comments in there, because in the room, there was just this energy that can never be replicated.
Yeah, it's a weird game. We tried it, Miss Sylver. We tried it, and it was weird.
I thank you for playing it with me.
It was weird. I don't think you could really get the experience without playing with other people. Like, no. I don't think there'd be a point.
Yeah.
Like, and you'd want there to be 4 people, so you'd have 2 people on your team and 2 people on the other, because it's just, I think it's not as fun if you don't have that
Yeah, you
setup.
definitely need other people for this game. I am so grateful to have been introduced to this terrifying game of which I will have nightmares for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Were there any other standout games to you?
Well, of course, I was super excited about the finals, which is always a surprise reveal. And this is where I'm bummed my partner didn't show up and we didn't get to truly compete, because the finals were a game that I know very well. It's Killer Queen, which have you played this?
No, I've seen it, but I've never played it. Like, I've never seen it in person. I've seen it online because we were talking about it, and I was like, I have to check this out.
It is not a common cabinet because it's actually 5v5.
Oh, yeah.
So you need a lot of people to play. And I'm sad because when I was in Dallas for Nintendo, we literally had like 40, 50 people at the arcade.
Oh, you could have done it.
And I never got everyone there all at the same time. There is a home version of this game you can play, but it's just 4v4. But the game is kind of like Joust, because you mostly flappity around, but there are different win conditions, like one person is the queen bee, and you can either take out the opposing queen several times, or try and flap around to get little goods delivered, the economic victory.
Oh my god.
Or, one of the best victories is the snail victory, where you try and ride a snail all the way across the bottom of the stage, where people fight over the snail, or you might get eaten by the snail, or...
Oh, the snail can eat you?
It's wonderful to watch it. But this is a great, great game to check it out, even at home. They did turn off the online servers last year, which made me cry.
Oh, no, that is sad.
But if you can find a Killer Queen arcade machine, check it out. And one of the other great things about the Omegathon is that it does help raise money for Child's Play.
That's right.
As well. And were you there when they had the fundraiser for Travis to wear a crop top all of a sudden?
Oh, I was there for that.
It's for the children.
Now, I did see photos of him wearing the crop top later. He could have gone shorter. I'm just going to say.
I'm just saying, we were talking about there should be a fundraiser where he has to wear a shorter crop top.
Yeah.
West. Or perhaps, short shorts.
I think he should just write different funding levels on the crop top.
Oh, yes. And the more that's...
Yeah.
Fund it.
Yeah.
I think that would be a very good idea. Just imagine all of the money raised for Child's Play.
Yeah. Well, Miss Sylver, let's talk about the other panels we saw.
Ooh.
Well, I went to one that I went to last year because I love it. It's not really a panel, it's a show, but they run it like like you have to wait in line like a show. I went to go see BioShock Infinite.
Oh!
I love them so much.
I am jealous, Wolf Doctor. They always have such cute outfits that I see from...
Yeah, their barbershop outfits are so adorable.
Oh.
And they always have a few new songs, and they do some of the classic BioShock, which are classic true barbershop songs, things like that. It's always a fun show. It was at the end of the day for me. I was pretty much tired after that and had to go home, but it was really a nice show.
Do you have a favorite song of theirs? I know that's a difficult question.
Water Country.
Water Country?
They do the jingle from Water Country as one of their...
Are you serious?
Oh, Miss Sylver, you didn't know that? They do that every year.
They just got even cooler.
That's their signature. They do the song from Water Country.
If you're not from New England, you don't know what Water Country is, but it's a water park, and they have this theme song that I've heard on the radio for years. I've still never been there, but everyone knows the jingle.
Yeah, if you're from around here, you know it. But that was the biggest show I went to, I think. What other panels did you go to?
Ooh, I did have some friends who were doing panels. I am sad I didn't make it to any of the ones that Mink
I know.
was running that were about VTubing. That sounded super cool. And other Sylver from New York, Sylver Stone.
Yeah.
He was on a panel with Shell Shock and some other friends saying goodbye to the Nintendo Switch.
Oh.
But I did make it to Shell Shock's panel that also had Ash, who's formerly from Game Explain, on it about Nintendo Labo, where they showed off...
Oh, yeah.
They used to have contests for Nintendo Labo, what can you create? And dude, the stuff they showed off that I didn't even know people created was amazing. And Nintendo Labo was basically almost like a peripheral where we got extra things you could use to build or create games using the IR, the infrared camera, off the right Joy-Con, and you could actually learn basic programming if you want to program your own games. And people made like a master cycle, a walking little crab, a cute kitty alarm clock. There was just so much. And the panelists also had some people come up in the room to help participate in their own Labo competitions, like making different frequency noises or driving things. And it was such a fun time and a delight. I love the creativity.
I heard you also went to the big ticket panel of the year this year.
Oh, I made sure to get in line early. Rapak from Anime Boston kept lying to me about how long the line was. I did get there very early, but he kept telling me that it was already full over an hour and 15 minutes before the panel was supposed to happen. I'm like, no, that can't be true.
Well, the big wait panel this year was the Final Fantasy Magic crossover panel, where I did not go. I'm not as big into Magic because the giveaways were a little more Magic focused.
Ooh, I don't know.
I mean, some of the things, like the totes and the posters, those things were awesome. The tote was actually my favorite thing.
The tote was beautiful.
But, they're giving away really the card stuff, right?
They actually only had a little bit of card
That's
giveaway.
so disappointing.
I thought there would be more of it, but during the panel they did, do some audience questions or run around and throw out Magic cards at them. But the tote bag that had Sephiroth on one side and Cloud on the other.
Yeah, that was great.
And then everyone who attended got a random poster.
Which is cool, too.
I'm pretty sure I know who you would pick, Wolf Doctor, of these choices of Cloud, Sephiroth, Terra, Furion, who half the people we couldn't figure out where he was from, even though I just played Final Fantasy II last year. And Emmett, who was apparently the most popular character that people drool over in Final Fantasy XIV.
Who did you get, Miss Sylver?
I randomly got Terra, who's the protagonist from Final Fantasy VI. So I was super psyched.
You do like Terra,
because if I could pick, I would pick Terra or Sephiroth, and
I'd probably pick the Cloud. It's true.
I figured you'd probably pick Cloud, but all of the posters look great, and they're like weird holographic material.
Oh,
I don't know if you saw them up close. They're really.
I did not see the posters. I just saw the people with the bags with the posters in them. The bags were great.
Yeah,
they were great. I heard there were also some photo ops for the Final Fantasy Magic crossover.
Ooh, yes. There was a huge booth in front that had... Wait, Wolf Doctor, did you not take a picture with the Buster Sword?
No.
No!
I didn't see it this year. I was so busy while I was there.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, the Wolf Doctor has a great Advent Children costume for Cloud and a Buster Sword.
Life size.
Life size. What is that made out of? Fiberglass? What did
Yeah,
you
it's a
do
foam
with that?
core thing.
Oh, foam core.
It's foam and fiber, yeah.
Wow.
But there were a lot of different things out there on the floor this year for photo ops that looked amazing.
Yeah.
I personally loved the Play Lab one of the big Pokeball on the side. Like, it was
Yeah.
cute. I liked that a lot. But there were all kinds of photo ops. Are any other panels you want to talk about before we move on to talking about things we tried on the show floor?
I'm trying to think. I'm sure there were other things. Does a party, is that a panel or is that later?
Let's count it as a panel for now, because then we'll just finish off on a few highlights of the floor.
I was very excited to go to the Twitch Boston / Sonic Boombox party that was at Candy Bar and Legacy in Boston. So you couldn't really walk there from the con. I mean, you could try, it just take a long time.
It's a long way.
But it's underneath Royale, and Doughboy, one of our former special guests, was one of the people from Twitch Boston helping run it. And there were a whole bunch of dance floors set up with different types of music. Sandstorm was played. Yes! Wolf Doctor, I am so glad I was walking through a room and they started playing Sandstorm, so I caught the whole song. But they had special guest DJs. There was apparently a photo area with very nice photos that I missed completely. I don't even know where that was. But I saw lots of great people in costume. And to the person who I think everyone saw a lot of the whole weekend that was dressed up as a combination of Hatsune Miku and Dr. Robotnik.
Oh, yeah!
This is Dr. Robotnik with the hair.
Yeah, I did see that person.
He gave me energy, like life energy from his dancing. He was very animated.
That's important.
The whole time. You were awesome. And the party was a lot of fun. I am now sad that I missed it last year, and now I have to make sure I go back every single year. They also had like some games on the side that you could play. And on the screens, they were playing some bits from various people in Twitch Boston's stream, including Couch Quests. They had
That's
parts of our
amazing.
clips playing up there as well. So we had a lot of the Couch Quests crew there, and so they were very excited. We were all over to see that up there.
That's cool. That's cool. So it was a great party.
It was a great party.
Did you have trouble getting a ticket to that? No. You had trouble getting a ticket to the Warcraft tour. Did you end up getting one of those?
I did not get a ticket to the Warcraft party, but from what I heard, the setup was great and the giveaways were absolutely amazing.
Dang.
You got in-game stuff for lots of different games too, like Hearthstone and WoW. Oh. But, the Twitch party, we did get a really nice Twitch bag when we were leaving. So
Okay.
I was very happy with that.
I ended up spending a little more of my time at the show, out on the show floor, checking out people's new games and just all different stuff like that. Obviously, we look at dice and things like that, but to me, I think I really am most inspired by the people who are out there talking about their games.
Wolf Doctor, do you have any favorite game or games that you got to play or check out?
Well, I did take Ricario to the Star Scramble Star Crossing. I always call it Star Scramble. Scramble Star Crossing booth. I did check out their game last year, but it's like a puzzle game that is a competitive puzzle game, and he loved it to the point where he was like, I'm going to do all the social media stuff so I can get the prizes and bags.
Ooh.
Like, absolutely, buddy. You can sign up and do that, and they had sweet totes, but it was a cute game. I like the characters. I was just starting to... I wasn't as good as Ricario was, but I was starting to really get the flow of it, too.
Ooh, this looks neat. It is a puzzle game.
Yeah, so you basically shoot stars and make combos, and you got power-ups and so on and so forth. But it was fun as a battle game.
Oh no, and there's no release date yet. Oh, I want to know more about this game.
I went to their booth last year, and they're working on it. It's getting closer and closer.
I feel that's like Toxic Avengers. They had a big booth set up the other year, but the game still hasn't come out yet. But these indie developers, just be patient. I will be patient and wait for the games. This looks pretty neat.
It's a cool game. It's in the indie area.
Yeah.
I also went to some of the board game area and had a really good time. And the RPG area, I guess it's the same kind of... There was this campaign setting for 5e called Obojima, which is a Miyazaki Studio Ghibli kind of setting for 5th edition.
Ooh.
And I think they're just finishing their Kickstarter. so you can pre-order it. And it's just kind of cute and I loved the art.
The art looks great.
And so it's kind of more about a little more role-playing than combat.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun looking. I bought one of their stickers because I wanted to support their game. But it's really funny. You've got the weird Miyazaki-style creatures. You've got the kind of magical forests, that kind of stuff. Cute delivery girls and cats. You know?
Definitely an RPG I would love to try out this setting. It looks fun.
It just sounded quite charming, and when you get the handbook, it includes some adventures for you to start, so that if you want to get a feel for it, you have some pre-made modules, so you don't have to come up with everything from scratch.
A launching point. Wow. That looks great.
Did you check out any games on the floor?
I did play a couple games. I definitely say my highlight was one that was in the indie area called Cyberlich.
Ooh.
Which, I don't know if you played a lot of Doom back in the day, but this game is definitely Doom inspired. And the art style, I'm not even sure how to describe it, because it sort of gives me like Sin City vibes in that it's mostly black and white with lots of red.
Kind of cartoony.
But cartoony, yeah. Combined with Cuphead, hilarious animations.
Cuphead-esque Doom.
Yeah, first-person shooter with lots of absolute ridiculousness, over the top, and...
It does look hilarious. I'd like to try that.
I'm hoping that this comes out on not just Windows, which is what they have it releasing for currently, because I don't remember the last time I opened up Windows on my computer. I'm sure it's still there, but I'm just, I'm worried about it.
Yeah.
But these guys also had a competition. In addition to trying out their booth, they had a high score match every couple hours to win really amazing art of their game. And so I hope they do well. I hope this comes out, because it just seemed so fun. You just shoot things, and they were happy with all the rampant destruction I was doing.
You're shooting random.
Apparently not a lot of people were destroying all the background stuff, but there were...
You gotta enjoy it.
Hidden things or behind them, so just destroy everything.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Gosh, speaking of art, one of the things I love to see is the people who are doing the art for these games. Oh. And there was this booth for it's a deck building battle game.
Yeah.
It's very popular. The line was quite long. Oh. I was just looking at the art and I noticed that they had invited the artist to come join the booth too. So they had a pretty big booth for a card game. And so the artist was just sitting there doodling and doing sketches. Her name was Vittoria Pompolani, and she's an Italian lady.
Yeah.
Who she actually is based in Italy, in the Veneto region, and she does like art. She does her own comics.
Yeah.
She's a full-time artist, and I was just watching her sketch. It was incredible. And she had this little thing like, you can sit and talk to the artist. So I sat down and chatted with her and just heard a bit about like her art inspirations, like her personal projects. Like she's done a couple of her own graphic novels that she wrote and drew.
Yeah.
And just watching her work was like, if someone does comics or graphic novels, they have to work really fast because you have to make a lot of art. Yeah. I was impressed by just how fast she drew. And she gave me one of her sketches, and I was just so amazed. I have it upstairs. I'll show it to you. But I was just so impressed, and it was so charming to talk to her and get to hear about her work on this game. The name of the game is Good Knack. Good Knack. They also had promo cards to give away that were just really cute little foil cards, and I was like, this is amazing. She had stickers of her art. It was just, I was enchanted. She was so talented. It was amazing.
I have to echo you, and I love watching talented artists work. I'm amazed the speed, like how fast they can just create something out of nothing, or even if they do custom drawings, that's like they can work in all these cute little details or add things you've never even thought of.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's why when we do any of these comic-based cons, I really like when they have like sketch competitions or anything with sketching.
Yes.
Because real talented artists working, it's such a pleasure to watch. I could watch it for a very long time.
And Wolf Doctor, I'm glad you brought this up, because there's something I missed out on that I didn't realize was going to be at PAX East. If you've played any of the Shantae games, they had a section at the limited run booth where they had the creators of Shantae there, and they were doing meet and greets and autographs, and I didn't even know this was happening. Otherwise, I caught the tail end of it. I would have gone to this. I'm like, no. know. But I did get to see them from afar, and they were talking to everyone in line, and they were doing sketches on, like, you know, if you had the game, your box art, or anything you had, and they were super nice, super great people. So thank you, Way Forward and Limited Run Games, for having, you know, cool opportunities like that there, because that's just, it's great.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Having them do a sketch on your you know, like game box art that'd be just so cool.
Yeah. Super, super neat.
Any other things on the floor you wanted to mention? Are we looking good here?
Oh, I should mention, I did run into one of my actor friends that I know from SAG-AFTRA. I actually ran into a lot of them.
Cool.
But I ran into Trey over at the Royalty Free-for-All booth. I don't know if you got to play this game, but it was sort of like a Super Smash Brothers type game where, you know, you're in a big arena playing as very humorous characters, because these were royalty-free characters.
I get it now. It's royalty-free, free-for-all.
Free-for-all. And that game was such a delight to play. It was a lot of fun, so I hope this game does well.
It has a really cool cartoony art style.
Mm-hmm. And they had a very fun setup to play all of the matches too.
That is cool. Was your friend... were they randomly at the booth, or were they working?
Oh, they were working at the booth, helping people play the game.
Got it. I was like, are they one of the artists, or were they there playing? No,
I know.
Were helping them out. At the
if
booth.
they need voices for the game, they should have him be one of the voices.
Oh, that'd be awesome, right?
That'd be super cool. Well, I think, Wolf Doctor, the only other thing I really want to talk about at PAX was, I have a question of, where were the food trucks that are usually out on Lawn D? Where?
Yeah.
Why? I need Bon May. I need Roxy's macaroni and cheese. Where were they?
They did switch it up this year and have a lot of the food inside, which is convenient when the weather is bad. And it wasn't as nice this year as I was expecting it to be, considering it was May.
Can we talk about how it was May and then there was weird rain and coldness?
Usually we have that in March, but this year we had cold, weird weather in May. Because they didn't want us to be happy. That's part of the deal. They're like, no, it's PAX East. That must mean the weather has to be bad.
Oh, I'm so sad about that still. It's the one time where we'll never have PAX in May again. I don't know if this will ever occur.
And it wasn't nice and warm and beautiful. But they did have a lot of food trucks indoors. So they had kind of brought them in before the con. And I was impressed. The lines looked long, but they moved pretty fast.
They were fast. That's true. Because I did go through one of the mac and cheese trucks that was inside there, and we got through very quickly. But the variety of all the delicious places that they usually have outside, they were missing that.
It's true. It seemed like it wasn't as many giant food trucks. They were like smaller trucks almost.
Yeah.
But c'est la vie.
I do appreciate PAX more and more every year, because we've been talking about some of our friends who are there, like and they're people you don't get to see all that often.
Yeah, it's a good place to get to hang out with your gaming friends.
Yes, and play all the things that you love, or go to the concerts, or all of these things together. So
it's fun.
Oh, it can only get better. This year was so good. I don't even know how it could top this.
Well, Ms. Sylver, before we end the show, I guess I'll just leave you with one question. Are you going to any of the other PAXs this year?
Well, I'm hoping to do PAX West and PAX Unplugged.
Great.
Like I did the past couple of years. PAX West has obviously gotten even bigger because it's split into 2 buildings now.
Right.
When I first went, when it was Prime, back when it was PAX Prime, it was much smaller.
Paximus Prime.
And PAX Unplugged is usually a very fun time. I actually have a lot of friends who are thinking of going to PAX West and Unplugged for the first time this year.
Awesome.
Wolf Doctor, you might want to consider going to PAX West. I'm just saying.
That's true. It'll be close to the other side of the world, basically.
Yes, and the food is always amazing. We can get parfaits every day.
This reminds me of last year, and you're raving about the parfaits. I want to try it because they must be good, right?
Parfaits are important. We can get
parfait all day, every day.
And I know you go to Hawaii for malasadas there, but there are malasadas at PAX West, a short walk away.
It does sound good.
There's lots of
It does sound good.
Well, Wolf Doctor, we've done a lot of talking about a lot of different things that happen at PAX. If people wanted to look at the show notes to learn more about links for pictures, or maybe try out some of these cool games that were mentioned, where should listeners go to learn more about these things?
The bonus brog?
The bonus brog. Yes, but what does the bonus brog mean, Wolf Doctor?
It means the blog where we post all of our episodes?
Yes, the blog.
The blog.
Now there's a website URL for this
Oh,
blog. Do
right.
you know what it is, Wolf Doctor?
She's been training me. She hits me when I get it wrong.
Shh. Quiet, Wolf Doctor. Smash.
It's pokeproblemspodcast.blogspot.com.
That's right. You'll get a Wolfie treat later.
Yay!
Now, this is one of the best places to go to learn about the show. You can listen to other shows. It also has links to places like Spotify or iHeartRadio, YouTube Music. I still don't know what that really is. But different podcast ways or other ways you can review the show or follow it. But just remember that the blog is the best way to go for all the up-to-date information when it immediately comes out.
In your browser.
That's right. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us on the Poke Problems podcast.
Thank you for listening.
I am Miss Sylver.
And I'm the Wolf Doctor.
And we'd like to remind you to... Game on!
Is Jonathan Marlin in my browser?
He's always in your browser.